Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mandala Podcast, discerning policies and regulations at our best. I'm Marlisa, Partnership Director at Mandala Consulting. Now we're in episode 2 of Mandala Podcast, and we're going to talk about investment. And here with us is Ferry Pasaribu, Assistant Deputy for Investment Strategy, Coordinating Ministry of Maritime and Investment of Indonesia. Ferry, thank you very much for joining us at the second episode of Mandala Podcast. Yeah, the first question is the Coordinating Ministry of Investment and Maritime Affairs was set up in 2014 during the first term of President Joko Widodo, and then the investment portfolio was added in the second term. Perhaps you can share with us how the investment portfolio is coordinated within the ministry.
Thank you. It's an honor for me, right, to be here with you folks, and of course I would wish that Mandala would strive in the near future. Actually, the idea why investment is sort of added to our ministries because, as you know, investment, even when it comes to investment, there are so many ministries related to that, right? So in order to have a more synergy, to have a more better, let's say a better coordination amongst those ministries, so we have this coordinating ministry for maritime and investment affairs. That's the main reason why we have investment being added to the ministry in the second term of President Jokowi.
Okay, and more specifically about your role, Pa, Assistant Deputy for Investment Strategy. How is this portfolio interpreted in your daily task?
Well, I'm the first Assistant Deputy, so it's an honor, and at the same time, it's a challenge for me as well. So basically, as I said, we are coordinating 7 ministries under us, including the Ministry of Investment, or BKPM in Bahasa Indonesia. Basically, of course, it's everywhere, not only in Indonesia, but it's really common in everywhere, I would say, that all ministers have their own sort of KPIs, right? And of course, each respective ministry has quite strong, I would say, authority in their respective fields of work. That's why, even coordinating ministries is a challenge, right? Let alone to implement policies, right? So it is very crucial to have a coordinating role by the coordinating ministry in order to have an integrated policy on investment. Yeah. That's what I've been doing since August 2020.
Now we are going to talk about investment in Indonesia, particularly foreign direct investment, or FDI. What do you think is the most prioritized sector that FDI should focus in Indonesia?
Thank you. We've been talking about investment since 1970s, right? We started attracting investment in a big scale by working with the Japanese back then, right? But of course, in order to transform, and just to be very frank, Indonesia started from sort of, relatively low baseline, I would say, in terms of economic development, because we had a lot of issues from 1945 until 1968, right? We had so many issues that unfortunately were not related to economy, which in the end hindered us to, let's say, to focus faster on economic development. So we had to do the consolidation, politically speaking. So we just started the economic development, I would say, in a strategic way since 1970s. But of course, along the way, in order to transform our economy, we have to think about the quality investment, we call it. So we need to focus on investment that brings more technology, more innovation into the country. And it's not easy, to be honest, because we have to protect first. If we want to attract a tech company to invest in Indonesia, and then we have to ensure that we have the relevant, supportive legal frameworks, so that they would feel it safe to invest here because they would bring the technology. So all in all, we need to focus more on technology and innovation in order to transform the Indonesian economy to the next level.
Thank you very much, Pak Ferry. Now I would like to go deeper about the downstreaming, because the government of Indonesia, the current administration, really pays attention and puts downstreaming as a focus. How do you perceive this? Are there any specific sectors that the government prioritize more than the others for the downstreaming?
Yeah, of course, as you know, we have a lot of natural resources that over the last couple of decades were exported abroad to foreign markets only in their material form, right?
Yeah.
So we want to say stop to that because the added value of doing so was so limited. So we want to capitalize what we have, and unfortunately, we need some capitals, we need some technology and expertise in order to be able to capitalize our natural resources. And we started from the low-hanging fruit one, which is nickel.
Yeah.
Because we've been exporting nickel. Actually, there are others, metals like aluminum, bauxite, right, and others. But we start with nickel because we have it in abundance. And on top of that, there are companies, even though they are still foreign, but there are companies that have expertise on that. So we start from minerals such as nickel, but it's only the first step. It's a spearhead, right?
Yeah.
And actually, even as a spearhead, we've already been able to attract more investment, which uses nickel as their base to produce, namely EV, right, and battery, including its battery. So I think nickel is a starter, but we won't stop there. So we would go to the next, let's say, other materials, even tin, for instance, bauxite, copper. So we would go to those minerals as well. And after that, we'll go also to the other sectors such as agriculture and fisheries. For instance, in agriculture, we have CPO, crude palm oil. You know CPO for forever, right? Of course, we want to have more derivative products made out of CPO. So that's the policy that we are pushing forward.
Okay, thank you, Pa. And now we go to manufacturing. What is the government focus on this sector? Is there any particular needs for foreign direct investment on manufacture?
Thank you. It's a really apt question. Hopefully, I could answer that. Again, it's part of our effort to have more innovative and technological investment coming into Indonesia in order to transform our economy. So whether we like it or not, we have to go to the industrial 4.0 policy by having more automation. Not everybody is happy with that, but we couldn't resist technology. So to transfer ourselves, we need to go to automation. We need to go to Internet of Things. We need to use artificial intelligence, right? And I believe if we can manage them properly, they won't be able to replace human resources. They are not our competitors, but we have to reskill ourselves because the landscape now is totally changed. So if you continue working the same method as it has been over the last couple of decades, and then of course you'll be out of business. But if you reskill yourself, then you are okay, you are good. And in that regards, the government should step in. So that's why, in order to attract more investment in industrial sector, go to industrial 4.0 policy.
Thank you, Pa. And this is my last question. In less than 6 months, we are going to have a new administration. I just would like to, if you may, to have you share your hope for the next administration in terms of investment strategy. What needs to be continued? And is there any room of improvement from where we have to start?
There's an adage, right, saying that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I think it's very logical that the next government would continue good policies that have been undertaken over the last 10 years, right? Because you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? And I think President-elect Prabowo already said that clearly, that he would continue the good policies of what Pak Jokowi has done since 2014. That's for sure. If you say there's room for improvement, of course, there's no perfect world, right, in this life. So my suggestion, again, I'm part of the government. I'm a government official. My suggestion to the next administration, I mean, especially for those who would line up within the cabinet, is that we need to align with my portfolio. We need to have a better synergy amongst ministries related to investment. Why? Because actually, after what we've already done to improve the investment landscape over the last 10 years, for instance, we've already have the so-called online submission system, right? So all the investment process is done online. So that means the room for whoever are processing a process to, let's say, to use their authority to take sort of personal advantage is almost like close to none, because everything is done online. So what we need is have a better synergy amongst ministries, and we need to, for sure, make the online submission system more robust. And I would push, if I may, that the regulation process, meaning that we should reduce the numbers of unrelated and unnecessary sometimes regulations of the investment procedures, and then Indonesia, I believe Indonesia will grow by 6% at least, if not 7. Yeah.
Okay. Pak Ferry, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
It's a privilege to discuss with you. Pak Ferry Pasaribu, Assistant Deputy for Investment Strategy, Coordinating Ministry of Maritime and Investment Affairs. And see you at the next episode of Mandala Podcast. Thank you.